Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
A few days after Mitch died, I was walking through the yard, and I saw our neighbor, who was a very good friend of Mitch's, Bob, and he saw me coming through the gate, and he said, "I am so sorry for your loss." And I knew that he needed to feel that loss, too, and to share it, and I wanted to help him. And he put his arms around me, he cradled me, and his embrace tightened. Finally, here was somebody who truly cared. And then I felt something else. Something huge. Okay, let's just say it. A podcast!
Wow. Good job.
Thank you.
Replace the word boner with podcast.
Yep.
Yep.
It's what this show's been building to for the last year and a half.
A huge boner.
A huge boner. Hello, everybody. My name is Griffin, Claude Beresford Dauphin Newman.
I'm David Sims.
David L. Sims.
Yes. David Lawrence Sims.
Hey, now.
Hey, now.
We're the two friends. Hashtag it if you want. We're two friends who host a podcast. And this podcast is called Blank Check with Griffin and David. Do you smell that?
A colon?
There's a colon at the end of the name of our podcast.
I don't like to smell colons, personally.
Oh, and you must not have a lot to talk about with dogs.
And let's just keep going.
Get that joke?
Yep, I do. That was kind of the joke I was making. You just expanded on it.
I plussed it.
Yeah.
Yes, anded it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason they call me Yes Andrew.
Hey, don't do that. Let's start over. This is the worst.
Okay, you want to start over?
No, it's okay. We can keep going.
A few days after Mitch died, I was walking through the yard, I saw
No.
a podcast.
This is a podcast called We Podcast. We're talking about the movies of Cameron Crowe.
It's a mini-series within a larger franchise.
Yeah, whatever. And we're...
Think of this as our American Horror Story Hotel.
Yeah, exactly. It's about as bad and disorienting.
And it's mostly set in a hotel.
And Lady Gaga's in it.
Yeah.
And she's not in it. In the podcast. She's in that show.
Yeah. She's in our hearts and minds, though.
It's been a couple weeks since we recorded.
Yeah.
Griffin's been tweeting up a sad storm on the Twitters.
I mean, look, I don't want to brag, but I have cried myself to sleep almost every night since we've last recorded.
I had a lovely vacation.
Great.
So we're both shaking the rust off.
Congratulations. Yeah.
And we decided to do that with a discussion of the film Elizabethtown.
Yeah, so our last
thing.
Yeah. So we were banking up our episodes for a while, but there was also a bit of a jumble.
This is what you call inside baseball.
There's a bit of a jumble in the order.
Okay.
They weren't recorded consecutively.
No.
So you'll hear them straight through, but this is our first time recording in 3 weeks.
Yeah, about.
I'm sad in certain episodes you've listened to and not other ones because of the order they're released in, but breaking news, very much sad right now.
Sorry.
Hey, apology
What
accepted.
if anytime something really bad happened to someone, like, a relative died,
Yeah.
I just went, sorry! That was my reaction.
Look, that would fit into the film Elizabethtown.
Yeah.
A film about people having weird, unrealistic reactions.
To grief.
Yep.
Yes.
Elizabethtown.
Elizabethtown. We're going to talk about Elizabethtown. It is Cameron Crowe's sixth movie? Seventh if you count the Gap ad.
Oh, yeah. Right. So I think for
in
us...
our chronology, it's his seventh movie.
Yeah. Keep setting it up. I'm just going to eat a bagel because I'm feeling nostalgic for the early days of the podcast.
We talked for 45 minutes before we started this podcast. Griffin and producer Ben
again.
and I. And then the minute we start recording, he opens his fucking bagel in the middle of the studio.
I'm trying to make this podcast great again.
Oh, my God. Elizabethtown. It's Cameron Crowe's seventh film. Before Elizabethtown, all his movies had done well. Maybe Singles and Say Anything were not big hits, but they weren't that, all his movies did great.
And Vanilla Sky was not a huge critical success, but made a lot of money.
Whereas Almost Famous didn't make a lot of money, but it won him an Oscar, and it became very, very well loved and all that. So Cameron Crowe, good run. He'd had a good run.
All of his films, up until this point, were very successful in one way or another.
Yes.
If not both.
If not both.
And this film, a film that is obsessed with the idea of career-ruining failure, as the film points out, fiascos, was his first fiasco in his career.
And yet not the last.
No.
But this was a film that felt like a fiasco even before it came out. It was a film that had a major recasting into, like, a couple weeks into filming.
I think like a
They
week
recast
before
the
filming
lead?
started.
Okay, fine.
They hadn't
But,
started
like,
yet, but they were
in
deep in
rehearsals.
rehearsals.
Yeah.
And they had cast everyone else around Ashton Kutcher.
That's right. And then they decided that Ashton Kutcher and Kirsten Dunst had no chemistry. Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
So they recast him with Orlando Bloom.
I want to just establish this right now because I think this
it is
going to be
2005.
I know. So
Orlando Bloom is a name.
Can we point out his run of films up until this point? Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
You've been in Black Hawk Down, my friend.
Black
You're
Hawk
forgetting
Down.
Black Hawk Down.
I'm not forgetting. I wasn't going chronological order.
I don't know.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King,
Mhm.
Black Hawk Down, Troy, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Sure.
Hollywood was looking at this guy like, maybe he's just got...
And
he's
Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of Heaven came out right before Elizabethtown.
I
I'm
know.
talking about the films that were leading into him being cast.
All right, whatever.
Because Kingdom of
Oh, what
Heaven
about the Gap commercial?
and the Gap commercial.
Your face is red right now because you forgot the Gap commercial.
Hey, look, I'm scarlet with embarrassment. And there's someone else.
No. So keep going. He'd also been in, like, Troy. He'd been in Troy.
You don't want me to talk about that red-faced bastard in the room next to us?
All right, you can talk about it. But Troy, you forgot Troy.
I was not forgetting Troy. You derailed me.
No, you were done.
I was not done.
Check the tape. Anyway.
Troy. He had not whiffed up until that point.
Right, but
commercially.
also he'd never been the lead of a movie. He'd just been in movies.
But here's the thing about the film industry.
Right.
It's very dumb.
Well, and also he's very handsome. He's a handsome boy. But I remember that even at the time, even when he got this role, the vibe was like, oh, Orlando Bloom, like, he might be just the flavor of the month.
So
like,
here's what I remember the vibe being. I remember it being, I guess this is, if he's going to prove
sure,
he's
right.
actually
This
got
is
it.
the moment.
Like,
right.
at this point, he just maybe got lucky.
Well, no, okay. Beyond that, okay. He was in the Lord of the Rings movies in which his character did some cool stuff with a bow and arrow.
Yes.
And, like, certainly had his fans.
Mhm.
But it's not like anyone was out there saying, like, one of the best performances in those movies is Orlando Bloom.
I will say he was my favorite character in Lord of the Rings.
Really?
And I was like, I want to see Orlando Bloom in more movies.
Well, you're crazy. But there were some people like you. There must have been. And then he was in Pirates of the Caribbean and was, I would say, an active drag on the film's quality. Anytime they cut to him or his story is invoked, my reaction, and I think some people's reaction is, oh, get on with it. We don't care. Move along. Like, Keira Knightley is pretty charming and winning in those
Pretty delightful
movies.
in those films.
And
I think,
she's
yeah.
his, his romantic interest in that movie. But Orlando Bloom with his, like, daddy issues and, like, he's a sword maker. Who cares? Nobody cares.
And yet he is the one they brought back for POTC 5 and not Miss Knightley.
Well, didn't she just say no?
Probably.
Yeah. What do you mean? He'll do anything at this point.
Yeah, I just thought at that point, like the third one ends with them being like, we're going to leave behind the pirating life and be in love forever.
No, the third one ends with
Oh,
him
wait,
abandoned on an island, you wacko.
I'm sorry. The third one ends with him returning home to her.
Yeah, but they can only see each other once every 10 years.
I thought the end was he's back for good after being gone for 10 years. I thought that's what the ending was.
But they can only see each other every 10 years.
I don't
thought.
know.
She has to go to his island every 10 years.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I
No,
just
he's abandoned
I
forever.
just remember he's had his heart ripped out, right? Literally.
Yeah,
got,
he's
like,
the
a
new
big...
David. Look, one day we'll do our big Gore Verbinski marathon. Pod Verbincast.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Wow, so derailed, so
also,
early.
Podritz of the Castabian.
Oh, pretty good. Got to
Yeah.
do it now. Anyway, so do the Ben names.
Well, hold on one second.
No, just do them.
My point was, he had this sort of heat. Hollywood is stupid. They're usually not good at analyzing why people like things or respond to things. So they just went, this guy's sure in a lot of movies that people like. He's a big name now. Girls got him hanging up in their lockers. Literally, girls would abduct him and hang him up in their lockers.
Sure.
Maybe.
No. What's interesting is not that they would make that decision. That's illogical enough, weird, dumb Hollywood. It's more that Cameron Crowe would buy into it. He had been a pretty good caster. Now, I don't mean podcaster, because podcasts didn't exist yet. I mean caster of actors.
No, it didn't. And now that you brought this up, I mean, it's important for me to bring up the man who invented podcasts.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
He's the producer of this show.
Uh-huh. You really were struggling there.
One could say he's the producer of this show. He's the Ben-Deucer, you know? I mean, he's the poet laureate. He's the Haas. He's the fuck master. Birthday Benny. He's Mr. Positive. Do not call him Professor Crispy.
Sure.
Do wish him a hello, Fennel.
If you want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see him.
Keep your eyes open for his eyes, because he's peeping.
Always.
He's been known to peep.
He'll peep. He is the peeper.
He's our finest film critic.
Yep.
That is known. Definitively. He's the Haas.
Mm.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's come a long way since starting with us on this podcast. I mean, he's, you know.
Do you think, like, people just, like, press, like, the plus 45 seconds mark when you start this?
I think they rewind once I'm done and they go back to the beginning and they listen to it again.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And they slow it down.
So his names are like, Kylo Ben and
Producer Ben Kenobi
and Ben Night
Sate
Shyamalan.
and Ben Night Shyamalan.
And Ben Sate, yeah.
And
what's his new Cameron Crowe name, or have we not decided yet?
the two that have been
Benny
thrown out,
Lane
Benny Lane,
is brewing,
and then you had me at Hello Fennel is more of a sentence.
Sure, no, I like Benny Lane though. That's
Benny
great.
Lane's pretty good, but you know it's not official yet. We still got a
not
couple
official.
movies to go.
It's not Officialithtown.
Hey now, 27 comedy points. Ben Hosley, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
So you're not feeling like strapping a butcher knife to an exercise bike and stabbing yourself in the chest with it?
No.
Good.
No, I'm summertime. Went to the beach a bunch.
Has anyone ever? I went to the beach last weekend too. Where'd you go? Which beach?
Fort Tilden.
Very nice. I went there.
Hey,
Griffin filmed a movie called that.
Yeah.
With a scene set there. Did they film at Fort Tilden? Or was it at a different beach?
I believe it was at a different beach.
Yeah. Some movie magic for you.
Yeah.
I went to Robert Moses Beach. Yes, go on.
I mean, the only way for you to know is to rent that film on Amazon. Amazon Video, my favorite video provider, a great company.
You could also rent it on iTunes. Or other video providers.
Don't fuck with that.
There's actually a bunch of UCB people in the film, and I don't know if you guys know, there's a UCB comedy podcast network.
Wait a second.
It's
with
true,
a
there
bunch
is.
of UCB performers.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What kind of podcast, Ben?
Oh well, hey, you interested in long form improv? Because we got a show called UCB Long Form Conversations.
Oh, well, I was about to say I'm not interested in listening to someone talk about it for a little bit, but as long as the conversations are as long as the improv shows, I'm down, baby.
Perfect.
Down to clown.
Hey, let's say I don't know, you like sex relationships? Little menage a trois radio with Murph and Diana.
I don't want to talk about sex. I'm really.
You know what? Honestly, though, let's just get to the film.
Let's get to the film. Okay. So what I find interesting about the Orlando Bloom phenomenon
Sure.
is that he was in all these successive big hits.
Big blockbusters. Never the star, but
No.
certainly a cog.
He was always a big part, a central character.
Not in Black Hawk Down. In Black Hawk Down, he
He's
just
the Black
falls in-
Hawk.
Well, no, it's the helicopter.
I mean, he's the guy who goes down.
No, he falls out of a helicopter.
Right.
No, but it's the helicopter that goes down, and he's actually not involved. They get him. It's these two other guys that
His
got.
name was Sergeant Black Hawk.
His name was Blackburn.
Well,
Sergeant
hey, come on.
PFC Blackburn.
Yeah.
But that was I think he may have made that pre Lord of the Rings, didn't he? Or maybe he made it after shooting Lord of the Rings. But
yes, I believe.
Came out at the same time, and he's actually pretty good in it because it's 5 minutes.
He is pretty charming in it. Yeah.
And of course he was in Lord of the Rings.
But outside that film, the other films that is a small role. The other films he has larger roles, but they're all like very heightened period pieces.
yes,
Like he becomes very big, but doing this sort of modern day Errol Flynn thing.
not
to a
even
degree.
period fantasy pieces.
Well, Troy
is quote unquote a period piece,
Okay.
like in that like the Peloponnesian War happened in some form or another, but it's basically fantasy.
He did fantasy films set in the past.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
he's speaking in like a heightened form of English.
yes,
They're-
in an English accent.
Yup.
Note.
Huge.
God, he's awful in Troy.
And those parts mostly ask him to be physical, which, let's say this, he's a very good physical actor. if we learned anything from Denim Invasion, he's a good physical actor.
I forgot that we talked about Denim Invasion a bunch. That was a while back, so I forgot about that. But yes, of course, Denim Invasion, very physical actor.
Not just like...
I think he's all right as Legolas. I think that I went really high on that opinion. As Legolas, he's, obviously supposed to be kind of a impassive sort of, I don't know, dweeb. I don't know how you put, like, elves in those movies are such hoity-toity jerks. And he's, like, decent as a hoity-toity jerk. And I remember in Fellowship of the Ring when Gandalf dies, he's pretty good at the sort of, like, elf...
Spoiler alert, jeez.
Well, he comes back.
Wait, what?
He's good at the sort of elf reaction, which is kind of no reaction, but he just seems a little lost. I remember thinking, like, okay, he's okay.
That's what I mean. He's a good physical actor. I mean, look, dude obviously looks great, right? And he holds the camera well. But there is something to the fact
he's
that
very handsome. Yeah.
he always was playing these kind of stoic, emotionally reserved kind of swashbuckler guys.
Except in Troy, in which he literally plays like a douchebag.
Yeah.
He's not great at it.
No, but it's also, I mean, that film isn't very behavioral.
Or good.
Agreed.
It's not very good.
It was this weird phenomenon.
At least the other movies were good.
It was a very weird phenomenon of someone who had been in like 6 consecutive
Costume
huge films.
Yeah.
And was an integral part in all of them to one degree or another, and people didn't really have any idea whether or not he could actually act.
Mm-hmm. But he was certainly being pushed on us, and he was in, he was in jeans commercials, and he was swooning around town.
The ladies loved him. He was dating Kate's Bosworth. Kate's Bosworth herself. Ashton Kutcher, who was also sort of a flavor du jour at the time. This is like a year into Punk's run, and I remember after Punk, there was this thing of like...
He had maybe just left that 70s show? Is that right?
I believe so.
Right. Like, around then is when he leaves that 70s show.
Because, like, while he was on that 70s show, he did, like, okay, dude, where's my car and stuff. And then with Punked, weirdly, everyone was like, wait, is he a serious actor?
Which is
And I remember
stupid.
him being thrown around for a bunch of stuff, and it was
Punked.
we liked him on Punked for the opposite.
People complain about culture today and, like, what's going on in culture, but there was a time when Punked was must-watch TV.
Yeah.
Punked. Remember when Ashton Kutcher was like the first celebrity on Twitter, so everybody followed Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God that's not true anymore.
But it's weird that Punked made him so big when he was not the guy like doing the Punked, when his role is like doing the introductions and...
Yeah, but he was so sexy because his like baseball cap was sideways and he like hadn't shaved.
All that shit, but he just like blew up suddenly, right? After being like a guy, suddenly became like everyone being like, it was the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where they looked at something he
They
was
were
very
both flavors of
successful
the
and
month.
popular in doing and went like, can we apply him to other things? They fire Ashton Kutcher and they hire Orlando Bloom, who he had worked with in Denim Invasion. Now, let's just...
Wait, on Punked?
No, on this movie.
Oh. Okay.
Although I do think Orlando Bloom was punked. He must have been.
By this movie, you mean?
Yes.
Or you mean he was in the show Punked?
Both. This is... To my eyes, I cannot think of a more catastrophic lead performance in a film.
Yeah, he is horrendous in the film. The film is not just bad because of him, but if the film was beautifully written and acted around him and well made around him, it'd still be bad if he, was the same.
I think if you
There is a horrible, like, sucking sound anytime he's on screen.
I'm going to throw out a very controversial opinion.
Oh, boy.
I don't hate this movie.
Sure. That's not that controversial. Some people sort of defend this movie.
I don't know if I can go as far
I
as
just
to say
read an article by
defend
my,
it.
my internet pal Amos Barshad, who used to work at Grantland, and I remember he had written a movie in honor of an article in honor of this film's 10th anniversary that was sort of like a quasi defense. My pal Joanna Robinson, we were tweeting with her just this morning, says she kind of likes this movie. She said she liked it for Kirsten Dunst and the soundtrack, though.
I know a friend of the podcast, Sophie Perrault, also is a big fan.
She's a big fan of this movie?
I believe so. I don't want to misquote her, but I know she was nervous about us doing this episode.
Oh, sorry, Sophie.
I had never seen the film before. It was the only Cameron Crowe film I hadn't seen going into this miniseries.
Yeah.
I was scared to watch it because
Uh-huh.
I do really love Cameron Crowe as a sad white boy.
I don't. That's the thing. As much as I worship at the ground of Jerry Maguire, I have
and
no
say
particular...
anything you love too.
Oh, I like a lot of his movies, but I don't have any... It's Cameron Crowe, to me, is not, for some reason, what I like put my flag on. Like, when he started sucking, I was just like, oh, he must suck. Like, he must suck now.
Yeah, I'm someone who still like waits
want him to
by the
figure it
chimney
out.
going like, Cameron's going to come back with a bag of toys.
There really is that feeling every time he makes a new thing. People
Any-
are like, is this it? Is this
Yeah.
it? Is this it?
But I had always been afraid to watch it because people are
Quite scathing.
the people who hate this movie, and they are the vast majority of human beings who have ever seen this movie,
Yes.
hate it violently.
Yeah, they
right?
really don't like it.
And
I'm with them.
And I kept on being like, I don't understand how it could be that disastrous.
Right.
Do you know
Then
what I'm
watched
saying?
It. Yes, I do know what you're saying, because when you hear the plot of the movie,
You're
it's like, oh, it's kind of Jerry Maguire-y. It's like, oh, a guy is down on his luck after like his professional life tanks.
Yeah.
His dad dies. He goes to this like cutesy town where the dad's from, has some little cutesy town adventures, meets a cutesy girl. They have a cutesy romance, and then the problem solved.
I
right?
feel like, yes.
And then Susan Sarandon is there. Sarandon.
Sarandon. Friend of the show. I believe that I find usually the movies that people get like enraged about.
Yeah. I'm enraged about this movie, just to be clear.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I always would hear that people were enraged about this movie, and it would be very hard for me to imagine that because I go, well, just looking at what the film is, it feels like the worst case scenario of this movie is just kind of glib and inert. It doesn't feel like something you could get angry about.
Yeah, but no, this movie is Cameron Crowe like going wrong. It's like Cameron Crowe having like a stroke or something while he's writing it.
And also calling his own shot. I mean, making a movie about a guy destroyed by failure.
Sure.
That is the failure that he...
Yeah.
I'm not giving him credit for that.
No, I'm not.
I just think
you shouldn't, because he made Jerry Maguire, which,
I think it's fascinating
the same thing.
that he made a movie this obsessed with failure before he had experienced it, and the movie itself created the failure.
Again, he'd already made that movie. It's Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yes.
I don't know why he made this movie. This isn't... All right, so apparently, like Almost Famous, this is a semi-autobiographical film.
Uh-huh.
His dad had died, and like I don't know much more than that, but he had some sort of like emotional experiences that he related into this screenplay.
Cameron Crowe lost $1 billion on a shoe.
Spasmodica!
But that's the difference between how this film approaches failure and Jerry Maguire, excuse me, approaches failure, is that Jerry Maguire is like a guy who is disillusioned by what he sees around him and wants to figure out how to be a more substantial person doing more important things in the world. This film is about someone who's put themselves on the line, put their heart and soul into everything, and was roundly rejected by everyone, and experiences the entire fallout of that. And it feels like a movie made by someone who is like grieving, and like trying to lick their wounds, but he hadn't experienced that yet. Unless this film is a reaction of Vanilla Sky?
Maybe, I guess. But that's one reason the film's depiction of professional grief makes no sense. You don't feel the impact at all when he's going to kill himself by strapping a knife to a bike. That doesn't feel earned.
I think a lot of that's on performance, too. I'm not
yeah,
saying the script is doing real heavy lifting, but
it's
I think
doing no lifting because it gives him no lines.
I don't think there is one moment in this film where Orlando Bloom convinces me. Yes.
Emotes.
Yes.
Where he emotes.
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe when he's crying in the car at the end. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
But that's it. No, that's fine. You're saying, oh, the script isn't like totally to blame. Orlando Bloom could have maybe been crying when he was going to kill himself with a bike strapped to an exercise. How's it even going to work? A knife strapped to an exercise bike. Is he going to keep pedaling and it's going to like repeatedly stab him?
That was the idea. Ben, do you want to say your name for the bike?
Oh, yeah, sure. I think it would be funny if we called it a suicycle.
100 comedy points.
Yep.
Thank
He
you.
made that joke earlier and I laughed like an English king.
I think the right actor in this role, 4 comedy points for the English king.
No, go ahead. Right actor.
I think the
Who's
right
the right
actor-
actor?
Well, I was trying to figure this out last night, okay? Because Kutcher and Orlando Bloom are a year apart in age. So I looked at other actors in
Around
that
then.
age range. And anyone who I saw born in either of those years who I thought could have pulled off the role was not well known at that point in time. Their career didn't start until after.
You could make him a couple years older. Bloom was probably, like 28,
Yeah.
27, 28 years old.
I think Joe Robinson threw out that Jake Gyllenhaal was up for the film.
Yeah,
at some
Joe
point.
Robinson mentioned Jake Gyllenhaal. He would have been good.
I think he would have been good.
Maybe. He
At
at least can act. He decided to make Brokeback Mountain this year instead. Good choice.
Good call.
I mean, I don't think he got the role, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, you know, he made Brokeback Mountain in 2005,
Yeah.
got an Oscar nomination. It was a
Yeah.
good performance.
I think Tobey Maguire could have done it.
No.
You don't?
No. I think Tobey Maguire is not suited to roles in which he has to play a regular person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't think this character is a regular person. I think the
What
problem-
is this character?
Well,
Do tell.
I-
He's supposed to be regular. He's supposed to be like a, you know, successful guy who then, like, it all went crashing down.
but is aggressively miserable. I mean, you never see him before it comes crashing down. So what you need to play is someone who cannot function anymore.
Also, how old is he?
27?
Late 20s,
28?
late
Yeah.
20s, maybe.
It's so unclear.
It is.
He's like he's some whiz kid that's really good at
Yeah.
making shoes.
Yeah.
They don't.
What?
Well, okay. So the other thing is, all right, just like so, the movie's 2 hours long, and it feels long. It was screened at Toronto, and I think it was like 2.5 hours long,
I believe so.
and it was essentially booed. You know, like
Yeah.
it was roundly reviled. And you know, a movie when it screens at Toronto, that's in preparation often for like an Oscar run. That's like your big fall festival.
The film was only like 2 months out from release
If
at that
that,
point. A month
probably
and
a
a
month.
half.
And so they took the scissors to it and they cut it down to this. I don't know that the other cut is better. My guess is it's worse. The last thing this movie needs is to be longer. What this movie needs is to not exist. But that's maybe we're losing. I'm just saying maybe we're losing some story there. You know, some sort of background. I don't know.
I feel the loss in subplots. I feel like how underserved a lot of the supporting characters are in the film. You know? The cut that exists is really just primarily about his relationship with Kirsten Dunst and him coming to terms with his father's death.
Yeah,
And
and a lot of wacky Kentucky shit. It loses a lot of the mom, the rest of the family.
And I feel
that all
like
feels
it
like
feels
it's on
like
the cutting
Paul
room floor.
Schneider should have had more in this movie. It feels like there's a big.
I love Paul Schneider.
Yeah.
I think he's a wonderful, tremendous
I
actor.
agree.
But thank God he's not in more of this movie.
It feels like
What is this movie? I'm just sorry. As we're talking about it, like scenes are flooding back into my brain. Because my brain, I think, could already start to compartmentalize and get rid of it. Like, you don't need this in your memory palace. Get it out.
Can we? I want to focus on the two performances before we get to talk about the film, because the film doesn't much of a plot, and most of this film
All right.
is about the two.
I've been
performances in
listening
these
to.
two
I just want to
characters.
say, I've been
Yeah.
listening to our episodes back.
Yeah.
And almost every episode you'll say, I know we usually go through the plot sequentially, but this is the kind of movie where that doesn't really work every single time. It's hilarious. Every
Great.
time you have some reason why we can't go through.
Wait,
We always
wait,
go
real
through.
That's
quick.
my catchphrase. Put it on a t-shirt.
Real quick. I got a gripe. Okay?
Shoot.
I figured it out. It took me up until this movie. I think I had even kind of sort of referenced it in Jerry Maguire. I know what bothers me about all of Cameron Crowe's movies.
Oh wow.
They're all set from the perspective of an upper middle class
Sure.
white person.
Correct.
Yep.
And I am sick of it. By the time I got to this movie, I'm just like, oh, his shoe fucking job isn't working out. Fuck you, man.
I'll say this,
Oh, God.
and I'm glad we're talking about this now. I thought.
Your zoo deal was not as profitable as you thought? Acquiring a zoo?
Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh, you're an escrow on the zoo? Sorry, go ahead.
You don't want to cast any Hawaiian people? Well, sorry.
Boo-hoo, space is being militarized. And that's the thing. Aloha is the same fucking thing. His career's been disgraced, too.
Yeah.
It all opens on it's like he was a hotshot, and then something happened, and he was disgraced. And in Jerry Maguire, at least, it's like he had a moment of self-doubt.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas in Elizabethtown, he literally designed the stupidest fucking looking shoe anyone in the world has ever seen. It had like a plastic hood over it.
What's the shoe called?
Spasmodica! And like, this is the thing. The movie acts like he fucked up on the shoe. No one else looked at this shoe? Someone might not have been like, Spasmodica might not be the name for the sneaker. That's not a great name.
That's what sunk him. At least $400 million is blamed on the name.
Look at this shoe.
Lift off.
It looks like a stingray, kind of.
Yeah. They talk about how it's like, I think it was supposed to be a revolution in terms of like design of a shoe, but also, well, there's the moment where he's holding up the little toy stingray.
Yeah, you see him.
Yeah.
It's true. Right. I forgot about that. Right. Yeah.
Uh,
it's all
Eight-
rapid.
8 years.
but like form and function, because they say like we're new technology, we're gonna make it feel like you're walking on a cloud.
Yeah.
But they use like new materials.
But 365 days in a year. 8 years he worked on this shoe. What?
Wait, really? He worked on the shoe for 8 years?
That's what it says in the movie.
He got a scholarship, or it was
like
out
the-
of college,
yeah.
right? Recruited from
Yeah.
And there's the part where they open up the magazine at the end of the film, and there's the quote from him that's, they Photoshop him sitting on a bomb that's dropping.
Yeah.
And it goes like, they really just gave me free reign to do whatever I wanted. Right. So I think the idea is that no one checked in because he was such a wonderkind.
Okay, that's fine, but he was such a wonderkind that he got $1 billion to spend on a shoe? Like, someone surely approved the spending.
But don't you find
$1 billion?
Don't you find it fascinating? And I'm not citing this as a reason why the film is more interesting. Don't you find it fascinating that, like, this is his fucking Spadodica or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, but
like, this is someone giving him $70 million and being like, hands off, you're Cameron Crowe, you know what you're doing.
It's almost like he got a blank check.
The film's budget was $45 million. Just
Really?
put that out there. Yep.
I thought it was much higher. Okay.
Orlando Bloom probably didn't make much money. Like, the actors were not expensive.
Yeah, but the last 20 minutes of the film are a road trip where they had to shoot in, like, 12 different states.
Yeah, sure, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they shot in 12 different states.
I don't know.
Some of those scenes are inside.
I don't know.
All right, come on, lock the gates. Let's get into it.
Let's
Lock the gates.
Lock the gates!
Oh, God, it feels good to say lock the gates.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
Marc Maron would have been great.
As the
lead of Elizabethtown.
Son of a bitch.
Honestly,
Yeah.
he's probably about the right age in 2005. He's maybe a little older. He's probably in his early 30s.
Marc Maron is now...
Marc Maron is a suicidal businessman.
Yeah.
Who is freaked out by Southerners.
Yeah.
He'd be great.
I believe is...
Go on.
I believe he's 13 years older than Orlando Bloom, if not more.
Because of that interview where someone asked him, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 13 years older than Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, I'm doing the math in my head because I looked up Bloom's age last
Orlando's
night.
Bloom date?
I looked up the date he bloomed, and Marc Maron mentions his age a lot.
How old is Marc Maron?
I believe he's 51.
Yeah, okay. So
and Orlando Bloom is like 37.
He's too old.
Yeah.
Too old. Okay.
Here's the guy
Too bad.
Here's the guy who'd be my number one pick. And unfortunately, although he was an established actor, he was not in the place in his career where they would have done this. He is older as well.
Who?
But always, drinking from that fountain of youth, could have pulled it off.
Rudd?
Yep.
Yeah. He'd probably be pretty good. Rudd struggles, I would say, with bland material. And this film is somewhat... I don't know if anyone could... I mean...
I think someone could make
the
this film
romance in this film
10%
is
better,
so
which would mean the film is still...
It would be 10%. At 10%. It would be at 10%.
I'd give it like 40.
No. I would give it 0.
With a good performance at lead, I give it like 40%.
0. Out of what, you ask? $1 million.
Okay.
Out of $1 billion.
Well, look.
Out of $972 million.
I think
it gets $0.
Cameron Crowe is, not plot heavy. He writes these films that are very character based and are really...
This film is not character based, though. That's the problem.
In theory.
Right. In theory, yes. Yeah.
But he writes these films that are meant to be carried by a movie star, someone who's got a deft touch and is sort of very behavioral and charismatic and offhand. And like Orlando Bloom cannot do any of that. Let's talk about the biggest problem in this film. His American accent in this film.
Oh boy, it is a nightmare.
Here's how I would describe it.
Oh. Her accent's bad too. P.S.
Yeah, she commits to it less, which weirdly makes it better. She's playing it really hard the first couple scenes as tough, and then it kind of like fades away for a lot of the movie. But it's less jarring because I think her performance is actually good in a character that doesn't work. I think she's actually very good in the film.
Performance is horrible.
I think she's good in the film.
No, she's not.
We'll get to this.
I think Kirsten Dunst is a great actress, but she's bad in this movie.
We'll get to this. I think she's good in the film.
No.
Orlando Bloom, I believe I would describe his accent in this film as that of a talking tugboat from a Nick Jr. cartoon.
Okay.
You know how like fucking talking vehicles on kids shows have to like enunciate everything and be as like inoffensive and friendly as possible? It's like, oh no, the bridge is coming down. Come on, Tugger, we gotta sail fast.
Right.
That's sort of how Orlando Bloom talks in this movie.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Right?
I'm fine.
I'm doing all right. look, I got to be honest, my dad just died.
Yeah, he's bad.
It's
Kiki Dunst is also bad. She's bad in the film. It's not entirely her fault. It's a horrible character.
It's a horrible character.
But I would say she's worse than Natalie Portman, who did a similar role the year before.
Strongly disagree.
No. I mean, Natalie's bad, too.
I greatly prefer this performance.
No. Garden State's a much better film than this film, and I don't like Garden State.
Agreed. It's weird how similar they are in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but Garden State's actually well made in a sort of way. Like, it actually has very obvious 101 film school, like, sort of visual shit, but, like, at least that's something. This movie has nothing. This movie is zero.
See, I don't hate this movie as much as you do.
I hate this movie.
There are elements of this movie I like which make it more frustrating for me. I was very aggravated watching this movie, but there are pieces that I like. It speaks to my willingness to buy into the Crow thing more than you are because I want to believe. Yeah. You're the Sully to my Mulder on the Crow front, perhaps?
Scully, I think, not Sully. I'm not like an air pilot who landed a plane in the Hudson.
Isn't that show about David Duchovny and the monster from Monsters, Inc. investigating aliens together? I
like my version better.
Well, we could combine them. Someone threw out the other day, I can't remember what it was, some idea of something. Oh, here's a thought I've had. Do you think there's a scene in Clint Eastwood's Tom Hanks starring Sully Sullenberger biopic Sully?
It's called Sully. That's so funny. I go on. Yeah, is there a scene that?
Do you think there's a scene in Sully where Sully goes to see Flight in theaters and is like, "Oh,
I can nail this. I'm not even drunk."
No, but that movie came out after and was so clearly based on him.
Oh, was it? Okay. Oh, and he's just annoyed.
It's just like, I guess that fucks up my chances of ever getting a biopic. Because like 50% of the story's kind of been told already.
Who's my John Goodman?
Looks like it's Aaron Eckhart's playing the Brian Garrity role. I don't know who his Goodman is.
I've never seen Flight. I don't watch movies about planes crashing.
Oh right, you hate planes.
Yeah.
That's why you like Say Anything, because it ends with them being in the clear.
I do. I was thinking about Say Anything when I was on a plane recently. Anyway,
Kirsten Dunst. I mean, here's the thing, and maybe it's and
I really do like Kirsten Dunst, and this was. She'd just been in Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah.
She was just about to be in Marie Antoinette, or just come out. I think she's giving a lot of great performances.
I believe in 2004, she had Eternal Sunshine, Spider-Man 2, and Marie Antoinette. I believe those were all in the same year.
Marie was in 2005?
No, you're right. Marie was 2005. You're correct. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I think. I'll look it up now.
I believe you're correct. I believe that was 2005.
Keep talking. She's also, I think, about to be gripped by, like, terrible life circumstances. Like, she's in the... I think she's... Yeah.
She was touch and go for a while. I don't know
what
if
are the circumstances? I'm not familiar.
She went to rehab. She's had some troubles with substances.
Oh, okay.
Which is, like no judgment here. But I think there was a dip in her career for a while where she was taking it easy.
She was laying low for a little while after this.
Okay. Marie Antoinette is 2006.
Oh, wow.
And then Spider-Man 3 is 2007. And then after that is when she kind of goes off the grid for a while.
She goes for a little bit, yeah.
And she comes back with All Good Things, which, whatever.
Had been shot much earlier.
Right.
Was on the shelf for a long time.
So it's really, she comes back with Melancholia in 2011.
And she's been throwing heat since then.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, so that's the thing. It's like, this is the tail end of her big star run, which I guess started with Spider-Man, but had been sort of, the groundwork had been laid.
Bring It On,
Crazy Beautiful, these very nice little performances.
She turned down The Village, as we've talked about in the past, to do this film. She dropped out of The Village. She was in it through pre-production, pulled out to do this film instead. I don't know if it's just like having a bucket of piss to drink in the middle of a Sahara, but I think like can I say this is a good performance? Like,
you can say whatever you want. You can say anything.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Singles.
Vanilla Sky.
I forgot we did that.
I think she is at least doing the very crucial thing that Orlando Bloom is incapable of doing, which is just be kind of charming and fun and light.
I think that's, I guess, what she's going for.
I watch her in this and I go, this is pretty good. Like, you are a movie star. Like,
No. I watch her in this and I'm like, I want to move to a place where there are no people.
But I think that's the character.
What? She makes me want to rip my skin off?
I think as written.
What?
I don't
What kind of defense is that?
I don't think anyone could play it in a way where you would appreciate the performance. That they're different.
That's probably true.
Right, that's what
it
I'm
would
saying.
be tough to make this character likable.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Kiki Dunst is who they gave me. That's who I got. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I think she's better than Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
But,
So here's the weird thing of this movie is that Orlando Bloom's like not a character at all, right? He's just a guy who's sad. As an actor, you're essentially being given one task, which is show in the way you carry yourself, the look in your eyes, all these things, that you are a man really questioning your desire to live another day.
To live.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, because it's a romantic comedy, find a way to still be engaging, to be romantic, to be all of this, while carrying those two things, right?
Right.
It's something I think like someone like Rudd can do.
Rudd might have been good. But, I do think of Rudd in How Do You Know, which I feel like is sort
similar
of
film to this.
Similar DNA to this movie.
It's a much better performance of a very similar type of character.
It's certainly a better performance by miles.
Yes.
But, it's not like Rudd's best performance.
No, Rudd's best performances are in good movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing. It's like that's what I'm saying. We're sort of crapshooting around. It's like, yeah, I mean, people could have been better than Orlando Bloom, but I don't know if anyone would have really been good.
It would have fixed one of the essential problems of this film.
Orlando Bloom?
To have someone who is able to
he is one of the essential problems.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
But his character is all this like feeling and the sort of backstory of his family,
I guess.
the failure, the shoe, but he has no personality.
No. Well, this is the thing. The film. All right, so I'm going to.
Kirsten Dunst is the inverse of
I'm
that.
gonna start on the
She's
plot.
all like affectation and she has no actual character.
No character.
But she's got like
just
no
there
inner life.
For him.
He's like just inner life and he has no outer life.
She
and
has
she's
no
all
inner
outer life.
She's just there for him.
But you know what I'm saying? They're each half a character. They're each half of a shitty character.
He is half a character. She is no character. There is one half of one character between the two of them. That's what's going on.
I think she is
no character. She's just a reflection of his needs and desires. Like
I think she's a box.
Oh.
And I think he's a bunch of.
And
like,
is he a round room? Fucking movie.
I think he's a bunch of like fucking like loose bullshit. You know?
Yeah, sure. He's just like a bag of like parts.
But there's not even a bag. There's just a bunch of parts lying on the floor.
Okay, so here's the plot of the film.
Yeah.
Drew Baylor, a hotshot shoe designer.
Yeah, I don't like that name.
No. No.
Is this the movie you hate most of all the movies we've talked about on this show?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
It feels
I really
like
hate Revenge of the Sith, but more because of like, I love Star Wars, and I feel like that one kind of pisses me off the most. But I don't think I hate it nearly as much as this movie.
Well, betrayed, the trust we had invested after Phantom.
All that, right,
Yeah.
right. I feel like there's some Shyamalan movie that made me this angry, though.
Yeah, Lady in the Water.
Oh, yeah, which I love.
But Lady in the Water was at least like had that kind of sort of stupefying element. It was a tough watch.
Yeah.
It was a tough watch.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, isn't it fascinating to you that, like, if someone describes you the plot of Lady in the Water, you go, like, yeah, I can see how that movie's a disaster.
Yeah, but I'm interested to see what that looks like.
But someone describes to you, like, the plot of Elizabethtown, you go, like, how bad could it be? Like, worst case scenario, it's just not very effective,
someone describes the plot
right?
of that movie to me, and my reaction is like, oh, I'll skip that. That doesn't sound interesting, which is exactly what I did. It was kind of like, they describe, like, it's like a mopey thing where his dad dies, and he meets this, like, cute girl, and I was just like, and is it good? And they're like, no, it's really bad. And I was like, okay, so then forget it. Like, that just sounds boring.
Yeah, I just don't want to see it because I like mopey movies about people coming to terms with stuff.
Ugh. I think The Last Kiss was right around this point.
Yeah, I never saw that
another
one.
Braff movie, which I did see because I had to review it for the college newspaper. And that's one of the most heinous movies I've ever seen. And I remember, like, it's very similar. Very similar. Upper middle class white guy has some problem.
Well, this is the thing that Ben was getting at. Is like Cameron Crowe is maybe the whitest filmmaker of all time.
Oh, boy.
You know?
I do.
In a lot of ways.
Yes.
In sort of every sense.
Yes.
And he makes, like,
and this is the top of the heap, which is funny because, anyway, carry on.
No, I just think that, there's a big cultural conversation going on that are like, hey, less movies about this.
Right.
About, like, good-looking white guys.
Right.
Who, like, have, like, come from, like, a solid background and experience some sort of, like, small failure and completely self-destruct.
Sure.
and go like, woe is me for the entire film, you know?
$1 billion, though. Not good.
Not good. Not good.
So, let me continue with the plot. Drew Baylor, hit shoe designer, moving the mic around.
Although he's never designed a shoe before. It's like
I guess.
It feels like
no
they
context.
recruited him just to do this one shoe.
There's no context.
I do love the opening of this movie.
The opening, at least in a good movie, like, the opening could be good.
The first 5 minutes, I was like, is this
But
movie good?
you're interested.
The opening, like, 2 shots
I'm
are
fine.
good, or the
I'm
truck
fine.
pulling up, and then they open up the gates. They unlock the gates.
True.
Unlock the gates!
No, he didn't say that.
That's
Slander.
the opening line of the film.
Slander.
And then they see all the boxes that are, like, returned, and they go, like, ugh. And then he goes on this speech about the difference between a failure and a fiasco. Then a fiasco
which
takes,
is-
like, ambition,
Which
you know?
is the line that my former colleague Nathan Rabin borrowed to
Yes.
do his My Year of Flops franchise, whatever, feature.
Yeah.
The AV Club, where and this is the first movie, and this is where he Manic Pixie Dream Girl, blah,
Yes.
blah, blah. All that came from that. And yeah, this movie is a fiasco.
Yeah.
And that line is good, where it's like the difference is a fiasco is something where it's so bad that other people are happy because it didn't happen to them.
Yes.
Like just to see you.
Yeah.
And
And this sort of confounding sense of, like, how was this allowed
how could
to
this
happen?
possibly
Yeah.
happen? So he, I guess, lost $1 billion at this shoe company making a really bad shoe.
Baldwin,
Alec Baldwin, who's tremendous.
really good in this movie.
He's always good.
Yeah.
He's always good.
But this was that weird period where he was, like, hadn't come into 30 Rock yet, so
no,
he was
but
just sort of
Hollywood had hit on him. It's like, you know what? Alec Baldwin can be fat. Why doesn't he just fat? And I'm serious. He'd already gotten his Oscar nomination, right? Because The Cooler, I think, is 03.
2003, correct.
And so it was like this sort of thing where we had all remembered that Alec Baldwin's very funny and dry, has like a really like unique sort of screen presence. He'd been in like shit like Along Came Polly, but like, he was sort of popping up.
But look, he's best when he's mean.
He's best when he's mean. He's best when he's fat.
Agreed. And he's a character actor.
He's a character actor. And this is the thing. Like, you see a movie like Married to the Mob, which he has a small part in. He's hysterical. He's so funny.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Hollywood tries to, put him in the big movies, and he's not that interesting.
I think there's exactly one good conventional, like, leading Alec Baldwin performance.
Hunt for Red October?
Oh, yeah.
He's all right
He's
in
all right
that.
in that. No, I was going to argue Beetlejuice.
I wouldn't call it. That's a character performance.
Well,
to
that's
me.
why I think
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
He's the
That's
lead
not
in
a
the
leading.
film. He's the lead in that film.
Yeah, kind of. Everyone is supporting in that film except for Winona.
I think he's good in that film because he's playing a dork.
He's wonderful. in
Anytime
that
you
movie.
ask him to be like the handsome, charming guy, Hunt for Red October is the best of those.
he's all right in Hunt for Red
But you
October.
look at it and you go, okay, I get why he didn't ever really click this way.
I like him in The Edge.
Yeah.
Oh, with the bear.
and the beard.
BJ and the bear.
Yeah.
BJ and the beard.
Yeah. The Edge is fun.
Because he's a dick in it.
Yeah, that was the one. That's the one that What Just Happened is about, right?
Yes.
Is the Edge. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you gentlemen been watching Match Game?
No, he's the host. I know.
It is a
I was on
stellar
vacation. I know. I've been
piece
hearing it's great.
of television. I cannot recommend it enough. Here's my favorite element of the film, of the series rather. Alec Baldwin has just stopped pretending that he's not a miserable, mean person.
So he just is a miserable mean
Because
person.
even like the character actor mode, he would like be playing mean people, and then he'd like get caught saying something publicly, something awful, and then he'd be like, "I'm not that person. It was a moment of whatever."
Now he's just leaning in.
On Match Game, he just makes fun of like everyone answers. It goes, "That's a terrible answer. You're an idiot."
Yeah.
It's great.
That sounds good. It really was the Cooler, because before then we'd
Turned
had
around.
glimpses, like in State of Maine, he's quite funny,
Yeah.
but then he's also like in Pearl Harbor, and that's awful.
His best performance up to that point was Glengarry Glen Ross.
He's so good in that, right? And people would like, of course, be like, "Why don't we see this guy?" And
Because
you
that's
know,
a character role. It's an
Of course,
inversion of what
Well,
he
that's another
appears
great
to
one.
be.
That's another
yeah.
great one. And then he'd had his hot year with Along Came Polly and The Aviator. Like he was back.
Yeah. Well, the thing that saved him was SNL.
No, of course.
It
And
was
just
that-
being on SNL and Sweaty Balls and all that
And
stuff.
he would be so funny on it. People would be
Yeah.
like, why is he so shitty the rest of the time?
and
He's
of course,
good on
that's
this.
what Tina Fey taps into,
Right.
and 30 Rock starts
But then the
in
the
05
divorce-
or 06. I can't remember.
05, 06. He gets divorced. He gets sad. He gets fat. And then
there's
suddenly
the
he
Ireland
gets good.
Baldwin phone call. Yeah.
Anyway, he is a great,
Great
small
one
role
scene
in this.
performance where he is sort of calm and you're kind of hanging on this guy's words.
I think it's
And
pretty like
Bloom has
Yes.
Drew has set up. He's like this sort of weirdo CEO with like twos. Everything is in pairs.
I think it's pretty directly based on Phil Knight, who's the CEO of Nike and is like an Oregon guy
Sure.
and founded Leica Films.
Right.
And pays for all those movies out of pocket because he just believes in stop motion animation because his son likes stop motion animation.
I know, and Leica's great. I love Leica.
But the scene where Alec Baldwin has this great scene where he's explaining to him how much
Money has been lost.
right,
Yes.
and he's got the great line where he goes like, nearly $1 billion. I don't know how to explain to you how much money this is. And it's clear that like he gets it, and then he gives him this tour of all the
all the things
segments
that'll
of his
have to
business.
Go, yeah.
Right, and Phil Knight's kind of a guy who like sets up different
Right,
projects
right.
with his money like that. And then he offers him up for the slaughter to do this
To a
interview.
reporter, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, that's that. So
And Jessica Biel, who's his ex-girlfriend, who they've been on the outs, is like showing him around. It's clear
she has no part in this movie.
no, she doesn't. But I'm just saying the film is setting up that he's fired. They're doing this interview that's going to come out and it's going to publicly shame him.
I get you.
And his girlfriend, who already was distant, has now lost all interest in him.
Yeah. So anyway, it's basically a carbon copy of Jerry Maguire. So I don't know why he did that. It's a stupid idea to do it again.
And you do the opening narration as well, and you do a lot of first-person camera work where it's everyone looking at him.
Yep. He already did this better. I don't know. And also, Cameron Crowe is writing a movie about his dad dying, right? And grief. But for some reason, he can't survive without this crutch of like, I'm going to make it about a guy who's on the bottom rung. Then he gets knocked lower. Like,
yeah.
I would say, too,
stupid.
the main thing that confuses me is why isn't this an app? Why is it shoes?
Well, it's 2000.
Oh, right. I don't know. I
was like, what
I
the
feel like
hell?
every Office movie should just be about apps now. I get confused.
I do kind of like that it's shoes.
But
just-
Ben, you're always obsessed with 90s
yeah,
technology.
they got some good flip phones in this movie.
Oh,
True.
don't you get me started.
That's true. With
Remember
some,
you were
with
able
some
to
custom ringtones.
Yeah, man. I was all right. We'll get there.
Here's a difference between
And there's a suicycle.
yeah. Here's a
There
difference.
is
Classic
a
90s
like-
technology.
But talk about the lower rung thing. Here's the difference between this character and Jerry Maguire. It's a fatal difference. Okay.
Yeah.
This character has just given up.
Yeah, sure. He's going to kill himself.
And he's a nerd, and he just doesn't want to fight anymore. He just goes, okay, I fucked up. And it's a character who has no agency whatsoever because he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
So here's the thing, and something I really hate in movies is movies that try to be cute about suicide.
Agreed.
Because, it's fine to obviously explore these themes, but, like, there is literally nothing cuter than, he's going to put a knife on a bicycle that'll stab him to death.
Yeah.
Like, he would have to be... I mean, look, I suppose you could say, like, Orlando Bloom is playing this character like he's basically catatonic, right? He's gone through something so crazy, losing all this money for his company, getting fired and publicly humiliated, that he's, like, emotionless, right?
I don't think that was a deliberate thought.
I don't know if that was either. The movie tries to play it that way by cutting to, like, Bloom in a new location, and he's, like, walking like a zombie, right? Like, it's trying to make him look like a zombie.
I think it's just Orlando Bloom having a lack of pathos.
it might.
I think that's what it is.
may
I
be.
don't think this is what he's good at. You know.
But when I'm anyway,
yes.
so when I'm watching a movie of a
Right.
guy strapping a knife to a bike and getting ready to die,
yeah.
I'm not into just him this movie has this like very obtrusive soundtrack, music playing over the thing, and Bloom's just sort of like doo-doo-doo, yeah, okay, this will stab me, okay, good. Phone's ringing. Oh, don't you hate it when your phone's ringing when your knife's about to stab you in the chest?
But
Why doesn't he jump off a building? Anything.
There's no urgency to even how miserable he is.
There's no urgency. He doesn't seem emotional.
And the whole movie is sort of like, what an inconvenience. Well, I can't wait to get back home and then kill myself. But it doesn't feel like he's really suffering that much.
No, it doesn't.
Most of the film, you're like, oh, I guess you're feeling better. So at the end of the film, when he's like, I am going to go kill myself, you're like, oh, you're still, that thing still?
Yeah, you don't believe it.
No. And you don't even believe it in the moment when he's on the bicycle.
No, you don't. So
There's no moment where you believe it.
Exactly.
He just seems like a potato.
Yeah, he's a potato. He's a hot potato.
He is
hot.
a hot potato.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, game recognized game. Guy looks good in this movie.
He does.
And the hair is really on point.
His hair looks nice.
I just kept on thinking about that.
So who's on the other end of the phone? It's forever the sibling on the phone, Judy Greer, I swear to God, this is like the 18th movie I've seen in which Judy Greer drops him for 2 scenes and is basically in the scenes like, you understand why I can't be in the rest of the movie, right? I'm just so busy with kids or something. Anyway, I love you, bye, you know? And you're like, why are you wasting Judy Greer?
Do you know what's craziest about that to me? This film is from 2005. Tragic comedy directed by Cameron Crowe.
Tragic comedy.
I remember before this film had screened at Toronto so disastrously, when it was just sort of on Oscar long list.
It was, certainly.
I remember people going like, maybe Judy Greer in Elizabethtown? Because no one had seen it, and they just went like, she's such a good actress. Feels like she's overdue for a breakout part.
I know what you're saying, but I mean, I remember people really thought Susan Sarandon was going to get an Oscar
I remember both
nomination.
of them being thrown out. And neither of them really have fucking anything to do in this movie.
No.
Sarandon has this one fucking monologue that is insane.
It's awful.
And Judy Greer has like less than nothing.
She's nothing.
But I remember people being like, oh, Cameron Crowe's going to know what to do with Judy Greer.
No.
We all see that Judy Greer is great.
Hasn't she been in a movie of his already? Is she in Vanilla Sky?
Maybe for a moment.
Trying to remember. I feel like, well, she's in The Village.
Yes.
So maybe I'm just thinking of that.
She's great in Adaptation.
Yeah.
She's
in it for like 5 seconds.
Adaptation. She's got like 4 scenes in that movie.
She's the waitress.
Yeah, she keeps on going back to the restaurant.
I know. She's good in it.
She's really good in that movie. I find it fascinating that even like 11 years ago, we were like, when is someone going to write a real meaty part for Judy Greer?
Yep.
And we're still fucking
Still
waiting.
saying it. Yeah. She's never even really gotten the right TV show.
I kind of like that one, what was it, Mismatch?
That was Alicia Silverstone.
What was it called? Mistake?
Misguided.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was a flop.
Yeah, I watched every episode, though.
All 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Barnes?
Yeah, no, I remember.
I liked that show.
I think you just like Greer.
I do, but I remember. I mean, I enjoyed watching the show. It was carried by Greer.
Yeah,
she was the X factor, but
misguided. Generation X, Generation Y meets Generation Y not.
Was that the catchphrase?
No, that was the catchphrase for Accidentally on Purpose, which was a Jenna Elfman gets pregnant show.
Do you know Jenna Elfman has not had one series last past the first season since Dharma and Greg, and she has been on, I believe, 6 series?
True?
Yeah.
Did you know she's a Scientologist?
I did. Do you know that Jenna Elfman's in Krippendorf's Tribe?
Of course I know that. I've seen that film.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Who hasn't?
Most people. Oh, it's a weird movie.
Weird movie. That
it's a weird movie.
Will never get made today. Should not have been made back then.
It's both true.
Do you know that film's based on a fucking novel?
A really weird novel. A really gross, sexy novel. Yeah.
It's sexy?
It's more sexually explicit than the film.
Gotta read that.
Do you?
I'm in.
Ben, what do you think of this Krippendorf's Tribe road that we're going down?
I don't even know what any of that means.
All I'm saying is I'm DTRAS.
She was on
Down to Read a Sexy Novel.
Courting Alex.
Yeah.
Accidentally on Purpose.
Yeah.
Damages. 1600 Pen. Growing Up Fisher. 5.
Oh, okay. 5. Yeah.
That is crazy, though.
And she's got a 6th one this fall.
Quite possibly.
She does. It's her and a computer-animated imaginary friend.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yep.
That sounds terrible.
Yep.
Do you remember when Joey was on a show called Mac and Cheese and Friends? And it was him and a robot called Cheese? That was funny.
I thought you were going to say, do you remember when Joey was on a show called Joey?
Yeah, Joey was great.
Yeah.
It was about his adventures in Hollywood.
Yeah. When people ask me why I dropped out of college, I was like, I made the same mistakes as NBC's Joey. He took a thing that was
California too quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lost the entire core supporting cast that were clearly propping up the character. Character did not work on his own. It was all about environment with that guy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Anyway, the film Elizabethtown.
So he gets a call on the phone before the suicidal does it. And I would love to know if he was supposed to pedal repeatedly as it stabbed him over and over again, or if it was just going to deliver one stab wound to his heart.
I have to imagine it was a cycle. I have to imagine he had to keep pedaling.
Well, that's hard to imagine that someone would do that, even if they were, gripped by the will to die.
Have you seen Lord of the Rings? The guy slides down an elephant trunk. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, he does do that.
Rides a shield like a goddamn skateboard down a staircase.
Yeah, he did that as well. So
Fucking Legolas? You know this Legolas guy?
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Dude's got fucking bows and arrows and spears.
Couple little daggers.
Great hair.
No.
Legolas?
I hate that hair.
Great hair.
All right.
When I go to the barber, I hold up a picture of Legolas.
And they say, I don't think we can pull this off. Yeah.
When I go to the ear doctor, I hold up a picture of Legolas.
And he's like, I'm a doctor, not a plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
I'm going to change the shape of your ears.
Yeah.
Remember when he was in the Hobbit movies?
Ooh.
Bloom.
Yeah, he played Legolas.
He came back.
Yeah, do you know that? Do you know in those films he plays Legolas?
He does.
Yeah.
So, Judy Greer's on the phone. His dad died.
Oh, boy.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
So, he goes home to Oregon. He's in Oregon probably already, but he goes home.
Yes.
Because if he worked for quote-unquote Nike.
Yeah, yes. He goes to see his mother and his sister.
He does.
The beginning of... you see Judy Greer on the phone, right? Crying. Then you see...
you cut to the three of them walking through an airport.
I think it's important to explain how little we see of these characters before Susan Sarandon's speech at the end, right?
We never see her. We
Right.
see her 3 times maybe.
The first you see of
And
her...
she's not emotive.
No, the first you see of her in the film, she's going, oh my God, we got all these things to do, this and that. What are we going to do about this? You have to deal with it. And then she goes, oh my God, I'm a widow.
Yeah.
And it's like she hasn't thought about
Which
the
I
fact.
actually like. That's what that experience is like.
Not bad.
That scene is fine, although Bloom is, again, not really holding the camera when he's on screen, which is all the time.
I'd say the problem is the opposite. It feels like he's holding the camera and not acting.
Well, sure.
He's giving a performance with all the charisma of a camera operator. In that he is moving in time with where the shot's supposed to be.
God.
But other than that...
So, the dad, I guess, died in his hometown of Elizabethtown.
Louisville.
What? Why?
Louisville.
In Kentucky.
You mean lava?
So he's got So Bloom has got to fly over to Kentucky.
Where? What part of Kentucky?
I don't know.
Lava. Lava, Kentucky.
Oh boy. So he's got to do that.
Yeah.
And so he gets on a plane where he's like the only passenger. How whimsical.
In economy. Everyone else is in first class.
How whimsical.
You know those planes where first class sells out, but every other section is empty?
You know when the Portland to Louisville flight sells out first class?
That overnight, Portland to Louisville, red eye, where the only people
Fuck.
are all heavy rollers who want to fly in first.
Everyone's going to get a hot brown and bring it back for the morning.
What's a hot brown?
It's a Kentucky delicacy.
I thought it was a poop.
Well, it's fair enough. So, Kirsten Dunst, who we have glimpsed for a second getting her stewardess outfit on.
And what an outfit it is.
It seems like a normal stewardess outfit. She's on his plane, and she's like, please, can we move you to first class?
She says, congratulations, sir.
Yeah, free upgrade, and he's like, I don't want to.
And she's like, look, don't want to have to keep walking back.
And she moves him up to first class. They chat. She's trying to, break down the barrier. He's ignoring
real
her.
hard. He's giving her nothing. She's spending a lot of time and energy on
It's
a guy.
metaphor for the movie.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think she's fucking like doing like Ginger Rogers
No,
dancing
she's doing
backwards.
too much. Too much. That's the thing. She's at 8,000% and he's at 0. You're like, can we both be at 50 and get to 100?
Yeah, I mean, this sort of falls into the like Anne Hathaway, James Franco Oscars thing, where it's like she looks worse because he's doing nothing. Like she's trying too hard to overcompensate for what he's not doing.
I understand what you're saying. She's bad.
I don't think she's bad.
I mean, also it's a horribly written character.
I think it's a horribly written
She's
character.
yapping on about.
I think she's very good in it. I'm going to stand by that.
It's stupid.
I think like the soldiers storming the beach of Normandy.
You can
She's
like
doing the
an
best in an
actor
impossible situation.
You can like an actor and think they're bad in a movie. Like
there
feel
are many
like,
cases of that I can throw out.
I mean, for one, you know what she's bad in? All the Spider-Man movies.
I think she's good in 2.
She's better in 2 because everything's better.
I think she's very good in 2.
No, but she's better. She's definitely
very good in 2.
when she because she really her romance with the astronaut is really well explored.
I think
too.
she's Louisville into.
She's dating an astronaut.
I'm losing my mind.
Hey, do you guys remember the conversation they have on the plane?
Oh,
Please
boy.
tell me.
Well, they talk about names.
Hey, you know something about names?
I have many.
What do you think Kirsten Dunst would say about a Ben?
I feel like she'd be like, he's like real deep, pretty complex guy. It's pretty unpredictable. You never know what he's gonna say, what he's gonna do. That's what makes him a wild card.
Wait, so
Keeps you on the edge of your seat. What is he gonna say next? What are you gonna do, baby?
I feel like it's horrible, reductive human stereotyping where she's like, oh, all Jacks are like this. I never met a Brett who I didn't hate. And Patricias are untrustworthy.
What are we talking about?
Fucking Elizabethtown. It's a 2005 tragic comedy directed by Cameron Crowe.
Tragic comedy. So then he goes to Kentucky.
Louisville.
She gives
this
him
whole conversation.
she
She
gives
gives
him
him
all these
detailed direction.
directions.
She talks about people with their names. She asks him about his father. He doesn't let on that his father's dead. And she goes, he sounds like a great guy.
The film feels like an annoying person is trying to bother you because his performance is so shut down that it's just her going like, then you're going to take a right here, then you're going to take a left here. And you're just like, dude, just stop talking, man. He's not giving you anything.
Yeah, I mean, the successful version of this scene happens a year earlier in Eternal Sunshine, where Jim Carrey is playing a guy who's very shut down, but with a lot of palpable pathos that make him
he seems
interesting.
depressed. I mean, that movie, I do fear, like, oh, if I watch that now, would I think, like, oh, what a sad white guy bastard movie this is? But
I don't.
Jim Carrey's performance is terrific in Eternal Sunshine.
And Kate Winslet is playing a real character.
Yes.
Someone who is struggling to find an identity for herself, and in the process creates a lot of external things.
Right, but also that movie is an unhappy movie, whereas this movie is trying to be a happy movie.
Right.
You know, that movie's not just about, like, and then you get the girl, and then she makes you a map with a playlist, and you do the playlist map.
Well, not to keep comparing it to Jerry Maguire, but Jerry Maguire is a guy who loses his way and tries to fight for what he believes in. And along the way, has this relationship with this woman where he changes how he feels
About the woman over time, and it
time.
feels earned.
This movie is, a guy is miserable. He wants to do nothing, right? He just wants to fucking go on that, like, fucking moving, like, trackway. And then this woman is like, I'm going to commit my life to making him happier.
Right.
A stranger decides to commit her life to making him happier.
For reasons that are I can't discern except for that Orlando Bloom is cute and you want to pinch his cheek.
Yeah, and he's the lead character in the film.
True.
Which is where the Manic Pixie Dream Girl thing comes in.
And
like,
also, men need women to fix them.
Well, 100%. And I think, like, the cornerstone of the Manic Pixie Dream Girl thing, because I feel like a lot of times it is misapplied.
Yeah, it can be misapplied.
In towards other different shitty character types.
Yeah, well, and also, I was saying this to our friend Lux today on Twitter, like,
yeah.
Sometimes it just means bad movie, like, you know,
yes.
poorly written character.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
Like, it's not like, oh, you wrote a great Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Yes.
I loved that Manic. Like, it's a pejorative thing.
Yes, 100%. And the key to the Manic Pixie Dream Girl thing for me is a woman who is so committed to making a guy's life better for no reason other than that he's the main character of the film.
Yeah.
Like, that is her narrative function, is to, like, show him what he didn't realize and pull him out of his whatever.
Which is what? That he's handsome and talented and, like, probably shouldn't kill himself right after his dad dies and his family is sad? Like, what if his dad dies, his family is sad, and he's in the movie, like you said, he's like, well, I'm going to take care of this and then get right back on that bike. That's like a line. It's like, wait, your plan is to help bury your father and then in your family's hour of need, murder yourself in this, like, gruesome way with a bike knife? And then, like, they have to find your bloody body? That's your plan? Am I supposed to have empathy for this guy?
Not to mention, like, okay, so yes, big shoe failure. It's not like they're suing him for the $1 billion.
No,
he
got
lost
fired.
his job, but whatever money he had up until then, he has.
And he throws all his possessions away. You could have sold him on Craigslist,
like a
buddy.
fucking dummy,
Well,
right?
He wanted to kill himself.
Yeah, but he also, like,
I forgot Javier Bardem is in the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean.
oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's good casting. But
And Cruz is in the
why
4th.
bother? Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Maybe she was like, Javier, I had a great time making
that's the fucking thing. Every
Pirates
time they
of
make
the Caribbean.
Javier, you must do it, Javier. Every time they make a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, they add one new element where I'm like, oh, fuck, that does sound good.
Yeah, but
and then I see it, and then I'm like, nope, not good. Not good movies.
I still think that their movie's kind of amazing. But anyway.
I do, too. I think the third movie is like a perverse act of like...
It's kind of incredible.
Yeah. I like the third movie because it like just says, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I was going to say...
Oh, and Brenton Thwaites is in it. They're really trying to make him happen. He's kind of cute in Gods of Egypt, my favorite film.
The new Sam Claflin, who they tried to make happen in the last one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, what were we saying? His plan to kill himself. Oh, yeah. Yes. This article is going to come out in fucking Business Week magazine.
Yeah, he's going to be a little humiliated on the professional end.
Okay, so maybe he's not going to get another job in the shoe industry. But it's not like he's like fucking O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
You know, where like publicly everyone's obsessing over like, well, this guy fucked up. You know, like a lot of people are just not going to give a shit.
Yeah.
And if he wants to, he could just start a different career. Like, yeah, probably you're going to have a tough year of rebuilding. But I don't think his life is over.
He's no Mel Gibson.
He's no Mel Gibson.
You can eat that bagel?
Well, I felt like I was eating too much on Mike for the first half, and I was trying to let...
I'm just hungry.
Apocalypto, though?
Do you want some of that bagel?
No, it's your bagel.
Okay.
I'll get my own bagel.
Apocalypse is a good movie.
It is a good movie.
So he goes back home to Louisville. And we've... the single worst fucking affectation in this movie. Kirsten Dunst taking the imaginary pictures.
Oh, my God. Do they have sex, or do they just sleep in bed together?
Unclear.
Yeah. I guess I don't care.
Really?
Yes.
Sex is cool, though.
You know what's the best part of sex?
What?
Sex part.
So it's not Kirsten Dunst taking an imaginary picture?
No, not at all.
The sex part. I like dressing.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Dressing.
Getting to recover my shame.
So...
he goes home.
Yeah, so there's a lot of...
She gives detailed directions, which is like, who do you fucking care this much?
I mean, again, remember, there's no Google Maps.
Yeah.
It's real hard to get lost there on the back roads of the Kentucky Highway.
And of course he does it, even though he does the very thing she told him not to do.
Yeah, he drives into Indiana somehow.
Yeah.
Oops.
Gets there, his family, ooh boy.
Oh, they're a bunch of characters, I guess. Ooh, they sure seem like they're from the South and are poorer than him.
Yeah, they seem like nice people.
Yeah, they seem fine. I mean, they're a little loud.
Played by some good character actors. And
Paula Deen.
Now,
she's pretty good.
It's
kind of weird.
I didn't know she was in this.
I did, but all I knew is that Paula Deen was in Elizabethtown.
You didn't know.
For all I knew, she played herself.
Role.
Yeah. I didn't know at all.
When she showed up, I went like, "Huh?" And then I went
What'd you
like,
go like? Okay.
And then I went like, wait, is she playing herself? Then it was clear, okay, she's Aunt Dora or whatever.
She's his aunt.
I was like, is she gonna be this
like,
for a second? Then she's got like a couple
like
scenes
three
that are like
scenes,
all
yeah.
on. There's the one scene with her and Orlando Bloom in the kitchen that's like all her.
And there's the scene where she's like, that's, Uncle Blah, and he was a poet, and that's blah, blah, blah. Right.
She's like pretty fucking good.
She's not bad. I mean, she's just doing what I guess Cameron Crowe is going for, which is like, just act like you're sort of down home folks,
But she's got like funny comic timing.
Yeah, she's fine.
She
all right,
let's
not give her an Oscar.
I'll just say no. I won't give her an Oscar, but it's I'd say much better than her most recent acting performance, which was someone pretending she's not a racist. Do you remember that unconvincing performance?
Good job.
I'm not a racist. Remember that one?
Yes.
Loudon Wainwright, the great Loudon Wainwright.
Loudon Wainwright the third. He's Uncle Dale. He's funny. You've got a lot of those other guys who you're like, oh, I know that guy. Where it's like there's the guy who is Ricky Bobby's dad in Talladega Nights.
No, Gary Cole is his dad.
Not dad. Grandpa.
Oh yes,
yeah, the guy from that scene where he's like, you're elder, you should respect me, and the kids just yell at him, and he's just like, turn up the heat. Yeah, I love that scene.
The great Bruce McGill.
He's such a good character actor. I love Bruce McGill.
But what the fuck is this character?
He shows up, and everyone's kind of like, oh, Bruce McGill's here, and he's like, all right, here I am.
He walks in. You could drop a pin in the silence, right?
Right.
And then he goes,
he's like,
so you didn't invite me.
No one invited me?
Yeah. And then he goes like, they're fucking around. And everyone laughs.
Ah!
And then when he calls Sarandon and is like,
she's like, Bill Banyan's here. She's like, that motherfucker!
Yeah.
I'll die before I look upon his face. I curse his name.
if Bill Banyan's there, I'm coming just to show him what for. And then like, it never
you're
pops.
Like, and he's like, Mom, do you want to cremate Dad? There's all this like chaos.
Yeah.
Because anytime he talks to his family, they're all chaotic. And I guess we're supposed to be just be like, oh, this is what grief is like.
And these kids are so loud. I don't know, about kids these days.
I like that scene.
I do too. I think it's probably the best scene in the movie.
It's the best scene in the movie. What is it? What is that scene? It's so weird.
But so he gets back to his hotel after like getting in with the family.
Yeah.
They play Elton John's "My Father's Gun," which is a song I really like.
There's a lot of good songs on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's a good.
No,
they're
I just
well matched.
I wanted to, props to Elton John's "My Father's Gun," off of a Tumbleweed Connection. And he gets home and he's like, got some phone calls to make. And then there's
he like
a wacky sequence.
He's putting everyone on hold.
Yeah,
Don't you know?
Beale, fucking Greer, and then
Susie S.
Yes, and he was trying to call Kiki Dunst.
KD.
Because she put her number, like 5 different numbers, on the back of the envelope with the directions. Calling her, he's got the other people on hold. He goes through a breakup. His mom, Judy Greer's like, you got to come back home. Mom's going crazy. She's like, what do you mean going crazy? And it's like, she's taking fucking classes. She's going insane. She's learning how to knit. She's losing her mind.
Yeah.
Right? They set up this thing, but it's like...
Again, clearly, this must be rooted in reality. This must have been something that happened to his mother, maybe. Maybe? I don't know.
His mother plays, like, the other aunt who's always by Paula Deen in the film.
Now,
She's
some
in
of
all
our
his movies.
younger listeners, I just want to make sure we know that call waiting at the time was sort of a big deal, especially 3 lines.
Yeah.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Continue with the conversation.
Yes.
Lock the gates.
Lock the gates.
Please do remember to lock the gates at all times.
Yeah, be kind, lock gates.
So anyway, then he talks to KD on the phone.
Well, I think I just want to point out the Sarandon thing.
What do you want to point out,
No,
you
because
motherfucker?
you're doing this thing about like Sarandon's losing her mind. And it's like we didn't know what she was like before, and
No,
she
it's
doesn't
true.
seem that crazy. She's just trying to occupy her mind with other
Yeah,
shit.
I know, but they're just like...
But Judy Greer's like, Mayday,
and
Mayday.
not just that, but also all the Kentucky people are kind of talking around her.
Oh,
and
they
they're like,
hate her.
And you get the impression they hate her, and you don't know why.
California.
Yeah, they keep calling them Californians even though they don't even live in California.
We live in Oregon.
Because, people in Kentucky, I don't know if you know this, but they're such fucking dumb motherfuckers. They don't even know the difference between a state.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're such evil, stupid people.
Yeah.
They're like, I guess you live in California now. I fuck animals.
But also, what's the difference? Because all us latte liberals look the same, smell the same.
It's just like one of these movies where it thinks that it's delightful that it's in, like, the South, like in America's heartland or something, where they're like, aren't these people, they're rough around the edges, but there's some wisdom to be found if you sit down and talk to them. It's like one of those movies. It's so patronizing.
Simple town is going to teach this
this
shoemaker
stuck-up shoe knifer.
I don't like the culture clash element of it, but I do think there's like a movie in just like guy going home to his family.
If you do it right.
Right. If it's not as much like the us versus them, but just like he's realizing he has more in common with his family.
But this movie is that, which is annoying.
I do like there's the kid who's like the relative who keeps on.
Well, you got Paul Schneider.
Yeah.
But
there's the kid who's like the shoe aficionado who keeps on talking about the shoe thing, and he doesn't know that the shoe is bombed and that they're going to fucking talk about this
Well,
thing.
I think he's also thinking like, let me
get
I could
in.
get a job at the shoe factory.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that moment's captured pretty well.
It's fine.
About like being in a
fine.
party and having someone look up to you and being like, I know I'm a fucking failure. I can't dismiss you because you think I'm important.
It's fine. But then other stuff is not fine. But
Yep.
then there's a phone call with KD that turns into a montage phone call.
It's kind of like the Vanilla Sky thing where they spend that one magical night together
But
where they
it's
talk
like-
for 12 hours.
Right, but the script is not going to show us like what they talk about.
You're getting isolated statements.
Yeah, you just sort of cut into it and he's just like, yeah, I just think like all women should be able to vote when they're 13. Like, I don't know. You just cut into some random thing and she's like getting in the bath or she's like putting on her tights. I don't know. Like he's like going over to the ice machine in the hotel,
Oh,
whatever.
there's a wedding going on at the hotel.
Oh, that's right. He runs
space
into
that they're going to use for their memorial service. Life and death, right next door to each other.
What's his name? Jed Reese. He runs
Jed
into
Reese,
that
the
actor.
great Jed Reese.
Yeah, who we've mentioned on this podcast before.
Yeah.
Who talks to him for a second. I don't know. I think Crowe is trying to capture this sort of wild and crazy emotional state that this character is in, where things seem to be sort of rushing in off the screen at him almost.
It just feels like he's like, where do I gotta stand? What's my next line? There's no he doesn't feel like he's being weighed down by any of this. He and Kiki Dunst have a conversation. There's a very Cameron Crowe thing that I like where they fucking decide to almost hang up, and then it's like, oh, what about you? Well, we might as well stay up at this point. She's supposed to go to Hawaii. Foreshadowing.
It's true. She says the word aloha.
Yeah.
In the movie, or he does as well.
And then they decide to drive to some neutral point.
Yeah, and they see each other, and that's sort of weird.
Well, I like the moment where they see each other and come on, and then they go sit and they look at the sunrise and they go we peeked at the phone call, right? Yeah, we shouldn't have done this. Yeah. And they leave. And I like when he fucking deflates the balloon. That's a thing Crowe's good at. He doesn't do enough of that here in this picture.
I guess, but they're so cute about it. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's just we picked up the phone call. Silly us. Let's drive an hour back. Bye.
You have one actor having to play chemistry for both of them.
All right, you've made that point already.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
All right. So then he doesn't want to cremate his dad, or someone doesn't want the dad cremated. The family doesn't want the dad cremated, but the Oregon family does.
Because that's what Dad said he wanted.
Right, but then they're like, no, he's got his plot. We should bury him. But no, they cremate him. And Orlando Bloom's like, the last second, he's like, I don't want him cremated.
Because he looks at the blue flame of Paula Deen's oven.
Yes, and then it turns out he's cremated, and he's in an urn. That's like a little arc that plays out.
Okay.
There's no larger bearing.
No.
It's just sort of like a thing that happens.
And he's walking
maybe that's something that happened to Cameron Crowe. Again, maybe that's why he's putting it in the movie. It has no bearing on the story.
He's walking through the lobby with the urn.
Yeah, well, that becomes right. The weird visual joke of the movie is that he's got this urn under his arm.
Dunst calls and she's like, hey, I got something for you. I know we're talking about those kids being real loud. I got a video. I promise it will silence kids up. And he's like, okay. And then there's a
great little scene.
And but then there's a balloon pop, and he's like, what? And she's there, and he's like, weren't you supposed to go to Hawaii? And she doesn't answer.
She's like, aloha.
Yeah.
In theaters, 2014.
Yeah. And then they just have another nice night together, and he tries to kiss her, and
she maybe has a boyfriend, although we never see this boyfriend. Yeah.
Yes, producer Ben.
Producer Ben, were you dating Kiki Dunst in Elizabethtown in 2005?
I was not.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we sold that rumor. But Ben, the Ben in this movie fucking sucks. He's married to his academic career. That was a loud wink. And he tries to kiss her, and then they don't really do it. And she's like, "Aren't you glad that we didn't do something impulsive so that we could, fucking be friends forever or whatever?"
Right.
But it's but then why were you so actively pursuing this guy? You clearly had the hots for him to fucking write the thing, and, get him to call and talk all night and whatever.
Yeah.
And then she gets in this whole thing about that they're replacement people.
Oh, God, I forgot about that. He also has had that monologue earlier where he's like, what I know is the farewell face, the goodbye face.
He collects them. He collects them. Like Cameron Crowe collects vinyl records.
Yeah.
Vinyl records.
And yeah, she says they're replacement people. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
It's they're stand-ins for, I don't know.
You need someone in your life. I don't know.
It's stupid.
They're young and pretty. They want to fuck. They should fuck each other.
Yeah, well, they eventually do.
Yeah. Well, he goes good thing for Ben, we only kiss. And then it cuts to them in bed together. And then she wakes up and he is still sleeping. And she has this conversation with him while he's sleeping. And she acts disappointed that he's asleep. And then he wakes up and chases her out afterwards outside.
And he's like, I feel like I failed my shoe company.
I need to tell you, right. I want to kill myself.
Right.
And she's like, oh, you asshole. I thought you were running out to tell me that you loved me. And then she walks off in a huff. She's angry that the reason he chased after her was to tell her
that he's contemplating killing himself.
Right.
Which is fair because it is annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cameron Crowe is like, I guess there should be as an act 2 here. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
she has to leave, so you wonder if she's going to come back.
We were kind of talking about Jerry Maguire on that podcast about how it has like 6 acts and it's great. Like, you know, it doesn't obey and then this, it feels like he has 0 acts, but he just sort of like puts like an up and down structure on it just because something's got to happen, right? Like
someone's got to give. And the immortal words of Jack Nicholson. You remember that part of the movie where he goes, something's got to give?
No, I don't remember that part. I remember when Keanu Reeves was a hot doctor, though.
You don't remember when he goes, it's showtime? I realized my Nicholson sounded more like Beetlejuice. I had to.
They also, that's also from a drowning pool song.
It's showtime or something's got to give?
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Ben's on fire today.
I mean, when is he not?
That's true.
Come, White Hot Ben.
New name? White Hot Benny?
Maybe. He's white, he's hot, he's Ben.
It's true. So, then there's the funeral or the memorial, whatever.
Yeah.
Guess who gives a eulogy that brings the house down? Like she's fucking Pryor at the Apollo. Like, I swear to God. Like, she gives a stupid speech about this time she hugged her husband and his dick like poked her in the back.
Not her husband, their next door neighbor after he died.
Right,
she has all these fucking bits about how she stole her husband in an elevator and then took him to Disney World when he was engaged to another woman and she was engaged to another man and like everyone hates her and then she just starts like fucking like landing these jokes
about boners.
And it's like the fucking Tig Notaro like live set. Like people in the
are
audience
losing their
like
minds.
losing their minds and they just keep on cutting to Greer and Bloom with their like head
kind
in their hands,
like,
being like, "Oh
geez,
God, this
Mom.
is so embarrassing."
Right.
It's like nothing embarrassing. She's killing. I mean, look, the speech is embarrassing, but you have nothing to be embarrassed by.
Well, then
these idiots are eating it up.
And then she does a tap dance
to Moon River, which I gotta admit,
oh no, don't say you like that.
No, I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it. But this is what I hated about it. I kind of can't listen to Moon River without crying.
That's weird.
I think it's like the saddest song in the world. I was in not a great place last night when I watched the movie, and when the song started and she like lifted her legs up, well, I think first it became clear she was gonna do a tap dance from the way she was moving, and then they played and I was like, "Fuck this! You could do some fucking tap dancing routine. Are you fucking kidding me?" And then they play Moon River, and I started crying, and I was so angry that the movie activated that in me.
Griffin, next time this happens, just think of Fletch getting a finger up the butt.
Moon River.
But I cried during that scene, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, because, colon cancer is nothing to laugh about.
That's very true. Yeah. And guys, when you start getting up there in your 30s, you gotta get a regular checkup.
You start getting up there in their 30s, you gotta start letting him get up there in your butthole.
Yeah.
And your butthole.
So then Claire is at the memorial.
She shows up, surprise appearance, because she had sort of peaced.
Also, there is a performance of Freebird by Paul Schneider's band. I don't want to talk about it.
And then there's a bird that catches on fire.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Also, they're playing electronic instruments while rain, or whatever, the sprinkler system, is cascading down upon them.
True that. There's a...
Stupid.
There's a shot of Judy Greer as the sprinklers go off, just standing in the rain, looking up at the sky, laughing at how crazy life is.
I'm tired.
Yeah, me too.
Also, that scene, we didn't talk about it. The scene where he plays this video for them to shut the kids up is very arresting and funny. It's very interesting. It's a good scene. I don't know why it's in the movie.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the video itself is great.
Where the video, I don't know who the actor is.
He kills it. It's maybe the best performance in the movie.
Yeah, but he's basically like, I'm going to blow up this. All right, I built this house. It's a great house, but it's been infested with termites, so I'm going to blow it up. Now, I'm only going to do it if you promise to like keep quiet, and like, do you promise? And they're like, we promise, like all the kids.
But there's this whole undercooked thing with like Paul Schneider's got his kid. He's a single father. He's trying to be his kid's friend because he doesn't want to have an antagonistic relationship. Lon Wainwright, who is his antagonistic father, is like, you can't be a friend to your son.
But again, this is like some like weird, bizarro side plot where you're like, what does this have to do with anything?
But that feels like there was like
There's
2 scenes
more.
cut out there.
Yeah.
There had to be. And I think there had to be more with Sarandon and Greer. It doesn't make sense to set them up that way and then have that big monologue at the end and not do anything in between other than going like, she won't stop taking classes.
Jim Fitzpatrick, I believe is his name.
Killed it.
Then he blows up the house and it's funny. And he's like, now we build it again.
Yeah.
Funny.
Kirsten Dunst shows up. And she goes, I got a thing for you. And you're like, oh, she's admitting that she really likes him and this and that. And then she's like, it's a map. And then she's just like, look, we were never going to date. Dating a guy named Ben. And he's like, does Ben ever even exist? And she's like, here's a map. Go on a road trip. Go alone. Smell you later.
Yes.
And I was going to give this film slight props for being about two people who never got together.
No.
Who just sort of danced around each other.
They get together, though.
I said I was going to.
Yeah, but I at least was like, no, he's going to.
I, at that moment in the film, went, he's going to go on the road trip by himself and figure out who he is.
Literally.
End of the movie. I paused the movie at that point, and I go, wait, there's 20 minutes left?
Here's what happens in the movie.
How are there possibly 20 minutes left?
The character who exists only to serve this man's emotional journey presents him with a magic box that will complete his emotional journey that she made for him. That's all about his emotions.
That would have taken fucking 6 years to assemble. I mean, it's detailed notes of every single route he has to take, what places he has to go into, who he has to say hi to, what he has to take stock in, what he has to think about, combined with fucking 20 mix CDs with songs timed up to life events. It gives him directions on how to take
it makes no
the
sense.
publication of Business Week.
Yeah.
All of it. She doesn't have the time to do this. She's got a job.
Whatever.
B, who gives a shit? Why would she do this?
It doesn't matter. Don't try to think about it. So this happens.
Why did she write the map?
Very good.
Thank you.
And so
she took the road trip by herself, too. Took the pictures, planned it out, then had him do it. That's crazy.
She had to take the trip.
Right. I guess we should note that, throughout the movie, she's been sort of saying to him, you should really go on a road trip. And he's like, yeah, I should. And he's like,
he was supposed to go on one with his dad, and then they kept on pushing it off because his career.
During
and
this
his dad
montage
died.
of him going on the road trip with and he's scattering his dad's ashes joyously around the country.
Yeah.
We're cutting in footage of him as a kid with his dad, dancing around. And it's supposed to be this big catharsis, except we don't know anything about the dad at this moment in the movie.
No,
still.
absolutely not.
And you're you get the general concept, yeah, he liked his dad. A lot of people do. Great. But there's nothing there.
Because there's no palpable feeling in Orlando Bloom's performance or whatever. So when he goes yeah, my dad was a good guy. It feels like he's just stating yeah, my dad was not a murderer.
Was
it doesn't feel like he loves his dad.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Did we know he didn't like his dad? No, that doesn't come up.
Agreed. He goes on this long road trip. The road trip sequence lasts over 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's
of him just going from place to place. I'm like, how the fuck is this movie still going on? I would have given the film props to a small degree if she gave him the map and she walked away.
Well, stop saying that you would have given the film props for doing something it didn't do.
Got in the car.
It didn't do that.
But I'm saying, fucking bad Toronto screening.
I get
hey,
that what you're saying.
Cam, just acts the last 20. Cut it off. Cut off the tail of the picture. He fucking goes to all these stops. She gives him all the directions on how to live his life because she has no being herself and she just wants to make the sad man happy.
It doesn't matter.
And then he gets to the fucking second best county fair or the farmer's market, whatever the fuck it is. And she goes, now go to the shoe. And it's the shoe that he made. And she's like, yeah, there's a note in the shoe. Either at that point, decide whether to continue the journey or go home. And it's like, wait. I mean, let's go check the shoe. And he checks the shoe, and it says, look for the girl in the red hat. And it's like, wait, she sent him on this road trip just so that she could meet him back 2 weeks later?
I have nothing to say. It's bad.
The hat's cute.
I guess so. She's cute.
Just cute in this movie. He's cute in this movie.
Yeah, he's all right.
He looks cute.
Yeah, but he's so
anytime
anodyne,
he talks.
It just doesn't matter. Yeah. So the film ends, and who cares? I tried to look up some articles to see if Crowe ever accounted for the movie.
Uh-huh.
You can talk for a second.
So I don't hate the movie. I don't really like it at all. I find it very aggravating, but there are bits and pieces that I like. Cameron Crowe is a filmmaker whose tone is very in sync with my sensibility. And so even just the fleeting moments that for me kind of half connect, it's I also kind of prefer what this movie is failing to do to what most movies succeed in doing. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do, but I don't like this movie.
I don't either. I'm just saying I don't hate it.
Yeah, I do hate it.
Right.
Crowe says that he kind of compares the character to an angel in this interview.
Dunst?
Yeah. Like literally like an angel just sort of sent from heaven to.
Yeah, because she's like a cosmic being who has right.
Just do something for him.
Yeah. I mean, there's the moment where Orlando Bloom's watching, what is it, Roman Holiday in his hotel room.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I love how there's no way any of these classic movies would ever play on any TV at any point in this movie. So annoying.
Well, I just think that's him going like, hey, guys, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make like an Audrey Hepburn, like this wacky woman who comes into the life. But it's like, yeah, but she was a human being, you know?
You know, in these interviews, he basically just kind of says, like, this is what was happening to me. So the movie kind of wrote itself.
Film was produced by Tom Cruise.
I saw that.
Was met with...
They're pals.
Yeah. A resounding sense of hatred.
Yep.
Booed at Toronto. He was like, wait, let me recut it. He recut it. People were like, nope.
So let's play the box office game.
Great.
Yeah, because the movie came out October 14th, 2005. It opened third at the box office with $10 million.
Okay, October 13th, 2005. Okay.
14th.
14th,
and it eventually cleared 22 mil in the U.S.
Oh, that's a little higher than I remember it being. And what the opening number is?
$10 million.
And it opens at number 5?
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Just said all this stuff and you didn't take any of it on board.
Because I'm already
26 domestic, 25 foreign, $52 million worldwide.
Okay, so it wasn't a massive financial flop. It just was despised.
Yeah, but it didn't make any money.
Okay, I'm trying to. I really feel a lot of pressure to get this one right. This box office.
I don't know that you're going to.
I don't think so either, but I want to. Sure. Okay, number 1 at the box office. Is it a new release or is it a holdover?
It's a new release, earning $11.7 million. It is a horror film and a remake.
Very interesting. 2005. The number 1 film made 11.
Yeah.
So this is a bad weekend.
Bad weekend. I mean, it is that sort of mid-October, schlock.
It's a 2005 remake, so it's not When a Stranger Calls. It's not the Amityville Horror. I'm thinking of horror remakes from around that time. It's not. Was it a remake of a franchise or a one-off horror film?
A one-off horror film. A John Carpenter horror film.
The Thing.
No.
Well, not Assault on Precinct 13.
No.
It's not Halloween. That's later.
Yes. It's not Halloween.
Right.
It's such an irrelevant movie.
It's such... I know exactly what it is. Tom Welling in The Fog.
That's right.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Number 2 is an animated film that is down from number 1 the week before.
2005.
It won the Oscar.
It won the Oscar in 2005. Wallace and Gromit?
Correct.
Curse of the Were-Rabbit?
Yes. And then you have Elizabethtown.
Okay.
Number 4 is a grown-up thriller starring an actress that had made a lot of money. It's already made $70 million in its 4th week.
Jeez Louise.
Pretty, kind of a weirdly racist
Flight Plan?
movie. Yes. With Jodie Foster.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Number 5 is a film with people in it. It's like a rom-dram. Tip for Oscar success. Didn't get any. Oh, it stars women. It's a film starring 3 different women.
Women in a movie?
I know, it's crazy.
What next? Female Ghostbusters? 2005. It wasn't The Women.
It wasn't The Women. It's like an okay movie. I think some people like this movie. I never quite dug it.
I have a feeling I like it.
Yeah, you think you might.
I think I might. Okay, it's a
Based on a
rom-dram.
book.
So it's not... Fuck. I feel like I know what this was. It was a failed Oscar thing based on a book with a female cast and it's an ensemble.
Yeah.
And it did okay at the box office.
It made like $30 million.
I give up. What is it?
In Her Shoes.
Oh, I do kind of like that movie.
It's okay. I remember thinking Cameron Diaz was okay in it.
I think she's really good in
And
that
Toni
movie.
Collette was kind of fine, but kind of doing her normal thing in it. Like, not that interesting.
The guy I think is really good in it is the old guy from the Hitchcock movies.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Jimmy Stewart?
Yes.
I don't know. No, who's in it?
So that dude's like the oldest actor. Norman Lloyd?
Okay.
Something like that.
All right, some other movies in the top 10 there. You got Two for the Money with McConaughey and Pacino.
Hey.
You've got Domino with Keira Knightley, who we mentioned earlier. You got A History of Violence, which is a great movie.
Love that movie.
Corpse Bride is in there, which is a bad movie.
Yeah, that movie really weirdly doesn't work.
Yeah, and then there's a movie called The Gospel.
The Gospel?
I don't know what it is, but it was a religious film. Waiting is in there. Serenity.
Why can't I find the one actor I'm looking
It doesn't
for?
matter.
It matters for me and my own sense of well-being.
So,
Norman Lloyd, I was correct.
Good job.
Thank you.
So that's Elizabethtown.
Okay. Merchandise spotlight, there was none.
Breaking news, Kirsten Dunst has just been announced to be the director of a new movie.
Is that true?
That's right.
Like just today? Just now?
Now
While we were
on
recording?
Twitter, breaking news. The Burger Report. No, the Bell Jar. She's going to direct an adaptation of The Bell Jar with Dakota Fanning.
Because she's done a couple short films that are supposed to be good. I can't wait for our listeners to hear this breaking news 3 weeks from now.
I want to read a couple reviews.
Yes, we got to read
go
some
out.
reviews. Yes.
Got them here.
Yes.
Here's a review
Okay.
by Pod Blanky Cast.
Okay.
5 stars. Great job, Jonathan Lipnicki.
Hey, already like the review. That's okay. He starts his review saying, "Great job, Jonathan Lipnicki."
That's the subject of the review.
Okay.
Here's the review. This podcast completes me, even though it had me at hello in the cynical world of fierce competitors we live in.
Now, see, I don't know if he knows this, but this some of the lines he's saying are very similar to lines from Cameron Crowe films.
Yeah, I don't know if you picked up on that.
Yeah, that's a funny coincidence. Okay, go on.
Here's from Knights of Ray.
That's the whole review. Good.
Yeah,
great.
that's the
Great
whole
review.
review.
5 stars for that 5-star review.
Here's Knights of Ray calling us the Star Wars of podcasting. 5 stars. Here we go. They say the best art shouldn't be masturbated to.
Oh, yes. I've read this review. This is my favorite review of all time.
Blank check with Griffin and David is the exception that proves the rule. BCWGD, I've never seen us acronymized before, is essential listening for anyone interested in movies, blah, 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 blah. Star Wars trivia, auteurs, nicknames, merchandise, burgers, or kissing. Even if you hate all 9 of those things, you should listen to this podcast. You will like it. Griffin and David are the Beatles of podcasting, and producer Ben is their George Martin. This podcast will change your life. R.I.P. Stop eating. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you didn't like this episode. Yeah. Or you did. You're saying rest in peace, stop eating. Like you're mourning the death that people tell me to stop eating, which means you're happy that I brought it back.
There's this really crazy thing where there's like a Jesse Ventura doll and your dad is talking to you. There's some long
that review is insane. Okay, so that
I can't read this aloud.
Yes. That review is so when I did stand up as a little boy,
yeah,
I was profiled in the New York Observer.
Oh, is that just an excerpt? Is that what this review is?
But then he starts warping the dialogue. The first part of it is a direct excerpt from if you want a fun read. Is
you talking about a Jesse Ventura doll?
That was my big bit. They made a real Jesse Ventura doll.
Sure,
Jesse
fine.
Ventura's ad campaign when he was running for governor was using an action figure of him as a wrestler in a suit and being like, Jesse Ventura now with bill passing action or whatever it was, right? And it became a big thing, and he won the election, and then they made the doll, they mass-produced it. And I had this killer fucking 10-year-old bit about what action features other politicians would have if they were toys.
Well, good.
Very on brand. If you would like to read that article, you can find it online. It is titled, and I shit you not, Ladies and Jelly Beans, New York's Cutest Comic.
Oh, we'll put it out with the episode.
I love it. I'm finding
post it up on
Ladies
Facebook
and Jelly
Twitter for you
Beans,
guys.
New York's Cutest Comic.
So those are some reviews. You should those are good. You should read the reviews and leave us reviews on iTunes.
Please.
You might get it read on air. Also, tell your friends.
Check
out other UCB Comedy Network podcasts.
I'm very tired.
Subscribe to our show.
Subscribe.
If you haven't already.
How long has this episode been?
An hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. We're not talking about this movie any longer.
So Elizabethtown is bad. Next week, we will be talking about We Bought a Zoo.
There's a long gap.
Yeah, 6 years he took to make another movie. He made the
I
little
thought it was
documentaries.
longer. Yeah.
No, I think it's 6. I think it's 05 to 11, I think.
I thought We Bought a Zoo was 12.
Yeah, so it took him a while, but we'll get to that, dames. Oh, I forgot to tell you some of the actors who auditioned. Sean William Scott
For
Elizabethtown.
would be better.
Yeah, although I feel like he sort of came into himself as an actor. I don't know if he was there yet in 05, but maybe.
But still would have been better.
I mean, a garden rake would have been better, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Who else auditioned?
Wait.
Jake G.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Who... He was great.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't
didn't
pick
they cast him.
You know why I think they didn't pick him? Because he and Dunst were dating in real life. Quote unquote.
Yeah.
David gave me a knowing look.
Mm-hmm. But he'd already, I mean, I guess Brokeback Mountain comes out that year. I'm trying to think, what had he been in apart from like Donnie Darko?
Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
He almost replaced Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2
Right.
with Backgate.
Yeah.
And then what were the other
I
things?
don't know. He'd been around, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Colin Hanks auditioned.
Yeah.
He's actually kind of got the sort of hangdog sad thing. I don't think Colin Hanks is like really a star.
I agree. You know, I think would have been an okay choice. Topher Grace.
No. He's not a good actor.
I think he's good sometimes.
No, he can do one thing.
I think he
But have you ever seen Topher Grace do like good emotion, like this sort of stuff?
Yeah, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris Evans auditioned. A not that famous.
But
Chris
I love
Evans.
me some Chris Evans.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. He would have been weird. It's hard to know.
Yeah. I think a little undercooked at that point.
And then James Franco.
Oh, so you know what?
He would have been great.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as he's going for it.
He
With
was
him,
the,
it's just
that's
if
the
he
thing.
goes for it.
He was the guy when I was looking at the people in the same age who I went, oh, he would have been the right level of fame, and he's the exact same age as these two guys.
Yep.
And that was before everything became a fucking conceptual art project.
It was when he was just the hot young guy.
And he's very mopey. Like, you do buy him being sad.
Yeah.
He could have been okay.
He could have been okay if he'd gone for it.
But he's a real coin toss these days.
He is.
Yeah.
So, probably never would have been good.
Next week, we're buying a zoo, motherfuckers.
Are you excited?
Yeah. I kind of like We Bought a Zoo. Have you seen it before? You've seen it? No, you haven't seen it?
No.
Ben, have you seen it?
No.
Dudes, go to the bank, get yourself approved for a loan, because you're going to have to buy a zoo next week.
I don't want to.
I think by the time this episode's coming out, I think we'll be right around the time the Tick is premiering on Amazon.
Is that true? It's that soon.
I think
That's
so.
exciting.
August 19th.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think this one would be the week before the episode drops, but that date has not publicly been announced at the time that we're recording this, but by the time this is released, it will be announced. I'll probably continue mentioning it, but Pilot for the Tick. So just, get ready for that. August 19th. It will be on Amazon. You don't need to have a Prime membership. It will be viewable from the main page, and they will ask you after you watch it to fill out a short survey. People ask how to vote for the show. There's not technically a voting thing, but just fill out the survey and let them know that you'd want to watch more of it. Because I wanna have a job. I really want to be a superhero.
You're gonna be a superhero, buddy.
I had a great time doing it. I put my my all into it, and I'm very proud.
And guys, when you're filling out the comments, no bits.
No, yeah. Oh, this is very serious.
Okay, no fucking bits. All right, Griffin wants to get a run of a show.
Yeah. No bits, no anti-Semitic slurs, none of that. Just, if you hate me, say it, but don't joke about it. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
If your hate is true, throw it down, and I'll take it.
So this article says you want to be an actor and a toy maker when you grow up. So you're just an actor. But that's pretty good. 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah.
You ever think you'll make a toy?
The industry's real bad these days. I mean, I've thought about it a lot. I do think about some celebrities, they start their own sort of like vanity like clothing line or whatever. Something like that.
Yeah, I get you.
Like
I'm sorry, I'm enraptured by this fucking article.
Yeah, get ready, folks. You'll have a real good time reading this one.
Hey, maybe you'll pull a Dan Lewis and you'll go learn, how to make toys.
Who's Dan Lewis?
Oh, that's Daniel Day.
Daniel Day.
I just call him Dan Lewis.
Danny Lou.
Yeah,
Danielle.
I know him like that.
Short answer is the toy industry is in a real shit place right now, and it's not a smart industry to break into. But I don't know, maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Yeah.
Dan Lewis, he was making shoes in Italy.
You've got a whole
before
bit
a gang
about
of
like
New Yorks.
those pens that like have topless ladies on them.
That is not a bit I did on stage. That was the woman interviewing me, asked me about things I do with my friends after school.
And that's where you went.
There was a store
I
near
love
my
how
school.
you're acting like you are the wrong party.
There was a store near my school, a store that was near my middle school that had pens with topless ladies on them, and I go there for fun.
Uh-huh.
I had very limited outlets.
Is
the
it
internet.
the kind of pen where you turn it upside down and her top pops
Yes,
off?
of course it was, so I could look at upside down boobs.
Nice.
Yeah, it's true. I never thought about that. You couldn't look at it like... It wasn't the other way. You had to turn it upside down. I think it was you turned it right side up.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Anyway.
I remember being very embarrassed when she asked me that question, and she dragged it out of me, and then I thought it was going to slander my good name. I thought no one was going to be able to make eye contact with me once they knew I like naked lady pens.
Looks like
I'm not joking.
the only peeper.
I was like, my fucking parents are going to be so embarrassed when they hear that I like naked lady pens.
No,
like
really,
12.
guys, though, we got to stop. I got
All
to
right,
do something.
we're done.
Okay. Ladies and jelly beans, thank you for listening.
Yep.
Tune in.
I'll be more awake next time. I'm really beaten
Yeah,
down.
I slept
I'm really jet lagged.
an hour and a half.
Yeah,
You're jet lagged. We'll both be great next week.
click, click, click.
Click, click, click. We'll be like Adam Sandler, clicking away.
Yep. Bed Bath and Beyond.
Oh, right, and the Beyond is time travel.
An Oscar-nominated film. Yeah,
For a screenplay, right?
Yeah, of course, I wrote it. I came up with that Bed Bath and Beyond bit.
Are we losing our minds?
Yep. Elizabethtown didn't help. You got to admit, we're both like kind of discombobulated for different reasons,
Yeah.
and then we were made to watch Elizabethtown.
Yeah, I had to pause the movie a lot because I couldn't stop crying.
I went to sleep. I watched the movie. I watched 20 minutes and fell immediately asleep because the movie was so fucking dire.
I couldn't fall asleep. I slept literally an hour and a half last night. Anyway.
As always, right?
Yes.
And as always. That's how we end this podcast, usually.
Right. Yes, I know.
Right. So, and as always.
This podcast is called Blank Check with Griffin and David. And as always.
What?
I don't like naked lady pen. I don't.
No, they're
I
bad.
use them to write. I don't like them. Okay, are you ready, Ben?
Yeah, I'm rolling.
Oh, great. Great. The second we start rolling, he gets his bagel out. Okay, ready?
Throwback Thursday.
This has been a UCB comedy production. Check out our other shows on the UCB Comedy Podcast Network.